The new Parkway Theater, where good food, diverse entertainment, and community create a place for everyone. For showtimes and special events, check out www.thenewparkway.com.
You are listening to High School 510, where sports is the plane, comedy is the pilot, and the sweet Chiba is our jet fuel. Please sit back and enjoy the ride.
You say why does Freddie Kitchens look like one of the dudes that carries your Christmas tree to your car at Home Depot?
The dudes that don't tie it correctly, or they wait for you to get in the car and then they tell you let down the window, then they tie it where you can't open. Freddie Kitchens look like the guy who ties your Christmas tree,
ties your door shut.
Ties your door shut. And you're like, God damn it! After you get home and you realize you can't get out the cars because Freddie Kitchens had you let down the window and tied you in.
Shout out to Freddie Kitchens sponsorship.
And he also coaches on that intelligence level too.
He's not a great coach. He's a decent offensive coordinator who should not probably be a head coach. But anyways, what's our next quick hitter, Aaron?
Next quick hitter. Just to stay on college news, your boy Tim Tebow was in the news, especially since, the California passed that legislation. I always have a hard time saying that word.
That's
legislation.
Hold on. Say that again.
I told you before I had a hard time saying that word. We've gone through this before. I can't say that word.
You can't not say it like that and then not get a matrimony. Do you agree?
Legislation.
It's an I, not a U.
I don't know. I can't pronounce the shit.
And you put an extra L in there.
So
legislation.
Tell me more about.
So California passed that. It still hasn't gone into law. It just passed California law that so that amateur players, college players, can get paid.
So the governor still has to sign it into effect.
It has to go through a couple more. It has to go through like the House. It's
not.
It has hurdles to go through, which it might not make it through. But the fact that some lawmaker helped put it up is big. That the NC2A players can get paid for their likeness, right? Yeah. It's not that they can get paid per game. It's for their likeness. So
their
they
likeness.
basically use them playing for UCLA, playing for Cal.
Right.
If their jerseys get sold, they can make money off of it. Yeah. That's what it's for. And it's
only a certain percentage. Right?
And they can also get.
They hadn't even figured it out yet. It's not even legal yet.
I saw something else in the language that alluded to them being able to get endorsements.
Yes, that's one of the big
so that's a big deal because if they're using your image, you're being seen on TV for the program's benefit. Like if somebody comes to you and like, we like the way you play, or you have some kind of swag. Saying like we wanna use you. Yeah, like you can then go be like, I'm gonna do a commercial or I'm gonna get sponsored by this and I can get paid for that. Like I don't know if it's gonna allow them to wear certain things on the field or not. They probably have rules still against that, but outside of that, they can go make money as their own brand, which I think is important because Tim Tebow, who's saying players shouldn't get paid, ain't shit because the only brand he has is his college brand, and he's making money. He will always live comfortably in the South. Or around this country.
Period.
Yeah, period. But I'm saying, especially down.
Because he don't even live in the South. He lives in New York.
But I'm saying, especially down in Florida. If he ever was like, man, things are rough up here in New York. I'm gonna move down to the South. I'm gonna move down to Florida. He will make a living off his name alone and making appearances.
Easy.
Yeah, Tim Tebow, man, shut the fuck up, man. Tim Tebow, shut up, dude. You are garbage. Why are you on TV again? Aren't you supposed to be chasing a baseball career? They're a dream of yours. After you failed your first dream of playing quarterback in the NFL, which you were unwilling to waver on, thus you had to go to baseball, man, go chase another dream.
I understand what he's saying. I don't agree with it. He has the right to say it, I guess. But these schools are making billions and billions of dollars off of these players, and they're just expecting them to be like, hey, you get to come here, you get to play, you get to sacrifice your life, you get to sacrifice your body, but you don't want to. We don't want to pay you for it.
Yeah,
I honestly think it's a little bit unfair. I'm not gonna say a little bit. I think it's unfair. Even if you look at the Fab Five, if you look at that documentary, they didn't have enough to order pizza, and that's a disservice. In order to make it at least a little bit fair, let them get paid for it. Let them get paid.
Man, Chris Webber had enough money to order pizza.
Don't create an economy off of it if you're not willing to representatively pay the people who are sustaining and creating this economy. And yes, the arbiters of that economy, the administrators of it, which is their career, should get paid for it. But let's just remember, you're still only the administrators of this. You are not the actual content. You are not the actual labor force. You're not the actual physical form that this economy is built on. It's built off of, yes, you guys being the ministers of this, but beyond that, you have these student athletes, you have these athletes, you have these laborers who are creating a brand, creating a product for you. They deserve some representative, compensation for that in this economic system that has been built off of it. So that's my thing.
And then one of the other arguments is that they're just going to go to bigger schools because they can get paid from bigger schools.
Yeah.
Well, people do that already. Like, you don't go to Auburn just so that you don't go to the NFL. You go to Auburn so you can go to the NFL.
Yeah, you go in there because, you're not choosing the best academic place, or you're not even pursuing your academics to the degree that you might. And some of y'all probably wouldn't make it in there based upon your academics.
They need compensation. Tim Tebow for saying that. It's easy for him. He had it easy. He played a glamour position. He can still make. He's still making, like you said. I agree with Jared. He got led into baseball, a sport he hasn't played
because
since
of
high
his
school.
name in college.
A hard sport to break into, right? There are people in the minor leagues that get cut who's been playing baseball every day their whole lives for the last 13 years. They let him in, and he has batted 100. This past year, he was batting barely over 100.
He was? I thought he was batting like 115.
Oh, maybe it was 115.
No, I was like, easy.
He couldn't do nothing, but they keep him around because of his name. And he has the nerve to say players don't make money. Every dime he has brought in has been because of his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to Tebow sponsorship. Eat a dick.
Jay Billis, who is he played for Duke.
He's against players being
No,
paid.
he wants them to get paid.
Oh, now he does?
For the last 5 years, he's been the main argument. His argument is the money now isn't what the money. He said back in the 80s and early 90s, they should have got paid. And I understand it too. I remember just working men's game. Not every game was on national TV or wasn't televised, period. It wasn't televised, period. Sometimes the only camera were the 2 team cameras that they have to legally, like Pac-12, Pac-10 rules back in the day.
Yeah.
You have to legally tape each game, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes the only camera was just the team cameras.
Yeah.
Right? Every game wasn't televised. Now, every game, regardless of how small, regardless if it's women's Washington State versus Oregon State or versus, University of Spokane on a Wednesday, is televised somewhere.
Yeah.
Local market, this and that. So the money is there. That's what his argument is. The money is there now to pay him. No, he's a big proponent of players getting paid. He said, especially football. He said they need to get paid. He said the money's there. He said, this is big money. They need to get paid.
Yeah. No.
When he played, the money wasn't there. He's like, my sport we didn't bring in money. Why should we get paid?
It's a whole other ballgame than what it used to be, and it's a big marketing scheme, and there's a lot of administrators making money. Like, if they're going to pay players nothing, but they're like, all the money that's generated to the NCAA gets redistributed to all the colleges, and it goes towards some kind of funding towards whatever that college, like a big project that college is researching, cancer research, Alzheimer's research, rocket research, if it's a big engineering school, things that are gonna help society evolve and help with societal technologies or medical advancements, things that are gonna benefit our society. I'd be like, you know what? I will play for free if I know that the money that's being made is going towards, like, I know ethically and morally is going towards the advancements of our society. I'd be like, for sure. But a lot of that money is going to people's pockets, and it's going towards funding new buildings and new parking structures and new fields, and not all of it is going to the places where it's like, this is advancing our communities and society. All right, let's get to quick hitters. Quick hitters.
Quick hitters.
Daddy, please.
All right, quick hitters. Aaron, what's our first quick hitter?
Our first quick hitter today, your boy, Jared's favorite fantasy quarterback, no matter what he says, how many times he says he isn't, Ben Roethlisberger. After his injury, the next day, he came out with a statement on his injury saying, I am completely determined to battle through this challenge and come back stronger than ever next season.
Maybe with the other arm, not with that right arm.
Shout out to Ben Roethlisberger.
He had sex with my mama.
Shout out to Ben Roethlisberger. I hope that you have enough heart to come back, and I hope that you show that heart and come back and show that dedication. But until then, I only got 2 words for you.
Nigga, please.
But I hope that Mason don't take your job first.
Ben Roethlisberger is probably too lazy to actually work that hard. He ain't even done enough to keep his jowls under control.
Oh, he was talking about coming back from his injury. I thought he was talking about being in a women's restroom at a bar.
Shout out to Krogan sponsorship.
Shout out to Ben Roethlisberger for working as an attendant during his injury in restroom, one of those restroom attendants. He probably went to Target to the dollar section, loaded up on the little small scopes and mouthwashes and mints and stuff. And then you unroll a couple of paper towels, lay it down, keep the sink clean, and then you got permission to be in that women's restroom.
He need to wear a penguin suit. He need a tuxedo.
Did they make tuxedo in men's husky?
If you was a little bit more in shape, I would believe you. But now you're more of like an oval shape. Can't do it, man.
This is what happens when you don't take care of your body. When you just out there just drinking beers, raping women, being an unwholesome person, you know, things start to break down. It's called karma. It's called atrophy. It's called obesity. Get your life together and don't come back.
Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. came out and said people should be protesting the NFL because Colin Kaepernick is not back in the NFL.
Shout out to Martin Luther King for calling for a boycott of the NFL. I appreciate your voice and lending your voice to the cause. It's just too bad it was over 900 days ago this shit started.
Martin Luther King Jr. Looking at this hairline.
Hey, shout out.
Hold on. I give you credit for holding on.
I don't know if he's holding on or he's letting it blow in the wind.
How close are we to an actual boycott of the NFL? I think you're way off. Like, people, if they haven't boycotted because Ben Rotglisberger over to raping people, if Antonio Brown over to raping people, or, people getting paralyzed because they getting hit, or because people smoking weed, like, we're not gonna boycott the NFL.
Shout out to Martin Luther King Jr. Blum, 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 you'll never find, blum, 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 a hairline like mine.
They say you get your hair from your mom's side of the family, right?
Yeah.
It made me think Coretta Scott King didn't have any hair.
Hey, shout out to Martin Luther King Jr. You look like somebody affixed a Mr. Potato Head to your shoulders.
That's what Ben Roethlisberger looked like, Mr. Potato Head.
Shout out to Martin Luther King Jr. You look like Uncle Phil, fucked fat bastard.
I understand that your dad had a dream, but if your dream was to have hair, you need to give that up.
Hey, your father didn't include having a dream about having equitable hairlines for all. Hey man, you can see Jr.'s thoughts. It's like a planetarium. It's like turn off the lights. You can stare at his head and see the stars and all the celestial beings. Shout out to Martin Luther King Jr. For being the spokesperson for the new M&M flavor.
Come on, man, what, hazelnut?
That high yellow cream, hazelnut cream. He's like, he looked like a hazelnut cream M&M. KFC has thrown their hat in to the chicken sandwich game that Chick-fil-A and Popeyes has dominated over the last couple months. And their sandwich is essentially 2 donuts as the buns and a fried chicken fillet in the middle.
Sound like the Luther.
Exactly like the Luther. There's not even any toppings on it. There's no secret sauce to it. There's no pickle to it.
It's just 2 donuts.
There's just 2 donuts and a fried chicken. And it's not like one of those donuts that you cut in half and like
it's a whole glazed donut.
It's a whole fucking glazed donut.
Shout out to KFC for feeding and keeping our brother Martin Luther King Jr. well fed.
Shout out to Kaiser, because there will be some hypertension, some diabetes will go up.
Hyperglycemia.
Hypoglycemia. People will probably be, now be diagnosed with the sugar foot.
They're gonna have the sugar chin.
They're gonna have the sugar chin, the sugar foot,
the sugar jowls. Shout out to KFC sponsorship.
Shout out to the FDA. Like, y'all gotta regulate this shit. That is a food and a drug. Shout out to all the beds out there. Y'all gonna be getting a lot of work put in. It's called the itis.
Shout out to Boondocks sponsorship for calling it. You guys called this years ago on your episode where y'all had Grandin open his restaurant where he sold a fried chicken sandwich that had 2 donuts on it. So shout out.
No, his was a burger, wasn't it? The Luther?
His was an actual burger.
It was a burger.
What was it, like 1.5 pounds or something?
Yeah, it was fucking thick as shit. They put bacon on it. Shout out to America for knowing that you're obese.
Yeah.
And just not giving a fuck.
Hey, shout out to Pine State Biscuits sponsorship for having something as close to this, for selling the Reggie and the Reggie Deluxe.
And the Reggie Deluxe. And that's the real name, Kiegan, in Portland. The Reggie, and it is delicious.
With something like that, the man could control every black person in America.
Shout out to Pine State Biscuits for saying, hey man, we gonna have some nigga food in all white state. Let's call it the Reggie. If y'all don't know, the Cowboys cut Taco Charleton this week. Their former first-round pick from 2017. He was the 27th pick overall. They missed out on J.J. Watt's little brother, T.J. Watt. They could have had him, but they didn't see him as a down lineman, and instead took Taco Charleton, who provided to be not mentally resilient enough nor talented enough to see the field based upon his merits of being a first-round draft pick. And he came out this week before he was released saying free me when he was not played for a second week in a row. My shout out goes out to Taco Charleton. Show some heart.
I supported you. I supported you when the Cowboys, when you were on the big board list, and I told Jared, hey man, they might get this dude. Man, he was under Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. I supported you when you got drafted. I don't think they used you right. I would like to see you go sign with Seattle and probably beat Dallas in the playoffs and get you a couple sacks that game.
Shout out to Taco Charleton, who was claimed by Miami the day after he was cut. Good luck, nigga.
Taco, like you say free me, like you in prison. Nah, you don't know what prison is now in Miami.
After looking at the DNs in Miami and the DNs at the U, you probably 6 on the depth chart in the whole city.
Shout out to Taco Charleton. I think you need to realize what the real meaning of
Give us free.
you don't really know what that means.
I be free.
Give us free.
My boy Dejan Hamshoe, man.
Dejan, nigga, he ain't a nigga. He's a Jimon. He said Dejan, nigga. He
like Demon.
My boy Dejan Hamshoe, man.
He has a D, J in his name. I think the D is silent though. I think it's Jimon.
J. John Hamshoe. Dejan Mustard Hamshoe, dude.
Give us free.
Give us free.
Bruh, you gonna be free, alright.
Give us free. He was free when he started dating Kimora Lee Simmons. That's right. You my man, Dejan Hamshoe.
Hey, shout out to the Cowboys. I think you should have kept him on the roster and just thrown him out there. I think the talent is there to potentially be serviceable. Maybe not what you expected, but I get that if he was being a malcontent in the locker room, you at a point where it's not worth the headache, even though he wasn't no AB. But Taco Charleton, you just AB'd yourself. So we talked about him earlier. We were discussing Tekashi 6ix9ine and his Dayton court, where he is turning state's evidence and ratting everybody out. As of now, he has incriminated various other musical artists and people that had no idea that they was going to potentially have a charge brought up against them. A couple of them were Casanova, who he had beef with, Trippie Redd, who he said was in a rival gang and that he had a beef with, and they beat him up and jumped him, and even Cardi B having affiliations with the Treyway Blood Gang out there, or something like that, having affiliations with the Blood Gang. So,
wait, did you hear what Cardi B said?
What did Cardi B say?
So, first of all, her lawyer was like, nah, she is not affiliated with no gang shit. She's cool. No, this motherfucker over here lying. And then Cardi B went on fucking Twitter and was like, nah, my fucking lawyer is lying. I am with that gang shit. Don't be getting me fucked up. So she had the way out, and then she just jumped back in.
Hey, shout out to Cardi B for keeping it real. You just AB'd yourself.
Yeah, she did coordinator.
I mean, with Nicki Minaj out the game, you know, only thing we got left is Cardi B.
Well, I don't think she AB'd herself. I think she did admit to what Cardi B had admitted in previous interviews that she had been affiliated with, you know, I think Bloods or a gang in her day coming up. So I don't think it's new. I think she's just also trying to make sure that she's not being misrepresented so that when she goes to court, she has to answer along the lines of whatever publicist is saying. If she had her past, she had her past. But you know what? She's trying to move forward, and her affiliations are not any of the ignorant, dumb shit that Tekashi 6ix9ine was yin-yanging all over the internet trolling people with. Shout out to Tekashi 6ix9ine. I heard you said Bill Cosby was part of the Blood Gang.
Come on.
I think Tekashi 6ix9ine is about to start throwing everybody under the bus. He's already throwing a lot of people under the bus. I'm just trying
I think he threw Frederick Ross under the bus for selling crack in the 80s. Like, man, I know this dude that's been selling crack. Tekashi 6ix9ine, I know this dude that's been selling crack. He's by the freeway in L.A. named Rick. They call him Free Rick.
Tekashi 6ix9ine probably trying to throw Michael Jace under the bus too. Be like, hey, you know he was part of the Bloods too. Oh, he already killed his wife? Never mind.
Yeah, he probably tried to throw. He's like, and you know the rapper Rick Ross too might be doing it too. I believe he's selling drugs too. I believe he was doing it back when he was in college.
He's like, did you know Harriet Tubman was part of the Treyway 6ix9ine?
She was moving keys.
She was moving keys.
She was moving product all up and down that Underground Railroad.
Yeah, she was using the Underground Railroad as a scam. She know she was doing only cash, no tax returns.
Moving product.
So did he have to snitch on everybody? Like, you just had to throw names out there?
Nigga just making up shit as he
He's
goes
just
along.
making things up.
Man, I'm telling you.
Like he's telling the truth.
Teaching kids how to snitch. That's his next job.
Well, see, the thing is that, but that's the problem. Is he be teaching the kids to do wrong first, and then tell on people for doing wrong that he was doing wrong with. And I know people. There was a big debate on like snitching, and like why are we saying he's being a snitch and we're encouraging this anti-snitching campaign?
Because he's a fucking snitch.
No, I get that. No, what I'm saying is like people are not differentiating what a snitch is versus like community members being like, I'm not gonna tolerate crime or stuff in my neighborhood or my community.
We're not using the term snitching right.
Snitch, yeah. Like people throw around snitch way too easily. It's like if you're doing wrong and you're not. If you're doing wrong and you're part of the wrong that's being done, and then you tell on people that were part of the wrong with you, so you don't get as punished, that's a snitch.
You get less punishment.
Yeah,
that's
less punishment. That's snitching. If you're somebody who's like, I was party to it and I was not in agreement with it and I tried to stop it or I'm not tolerating it, and you say this is what happened, that's not snitching.
That's not snitching.
That's
if
being a good citizen.
Running your neighborhood because they out here pimping women and selling drugs on your corner, and you got kids you trying to raise, and you tell the police because you want the shit to stop. That's not snitching. That's wanting a better life.
Yeah.
That's being a decent citizen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one
snitching. In Tekashi 6ix9ine, I don't even know. That's why people call him a paper gangster. It's like, dude, you're not even snitching. You telling on some shit that you ain't even done.
He's like, I heard they did this. It's like,
and it ain't even getting him less time. It's all for attention. This is like it's attention snitching. It's the worst kind.
I heard he was trying to talk about how Darren Sharper was doing dirt for them back in the day.
I'm telling you, dude, I heard about this cat. He used to play in the league, and I'm telling you, man, I heard he was like drugging up women and giving them like drugs and then raping them. I don't know if you guys noticed. He might still be playing. His name's Darren Sharp.
That nigga got a life sentence too late.
Too late.
It's like, hey, you know this dude. I honestly think that maybe that's why Ben Roethlisberger faked that arm injuries, because he got a federal probe coming because Tekashi 6ix9ine then indicated, man, I got video of him raping them women in the bathroom.
It's this cat that man out of Boston, man. And he was on a lam for a while. He might be still on lam. His name is Whitey Bulger. He got killed in jail already? Let me go back to the movies then. I just watched that the other day.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to 6ix9ine, Tekashi. I don't think we want your sponsorship, but in the case that you got any money to throw around, you could always throw it to an offshore account of ours, and then we will use it to fund parts of our podcast. But otherwise, stay away from us, please, because you use a snitch.
Kiegan, over a year now, said he was going to pick a new NFL team. We've been over a year now. You had a board in your old office. You had everything up. So what is it?
On air, I'm looking at Jerry, and I'm looking at Aaron, I'm gonna have to go with the Saints.
Oh, that's
Gonna have to go with the
disappointing.
Saints.
That's disappointing. That's a
I
team.
talked to the coaching staff.
That's a team that's on a slow decline.
Yeah, they're on a decline.
I'll talk to the players. We settled a new contract. It's gonna be a 1-year deal, contingent on stipulations. They're gonna have to make the playoffs, and they're gonna have to make some decent moves.
Shout out to Kiegan for being like most Raider fans and having poor judgment when choosing their team.
I didn't choose them. They chose me. They called me up.
Hey, man.
They said, "Hey, how would you like to be a fan?" And I said, "What y'all got?" They said, "We got this Drew Brees." I was like, "I like Drew Brees. He actually won me a couple of championships in fantasy."
Shout out to the Cowboys sponsorship. Man, the Cowboys are waiting for you to hop on that train and go for a
You
long
could have been
ride.
an LA Ram fan. You could have been
I couldn't do
teams.
Rams just
Why?
because I can't hop on that bandwagon fan. I can't hop on that
They hadn't
bandwagon.
won
Hey,
anything.
how about this? How about this? Why
Bandwagon.
don't you be a Browns fan? Just be a Brown paper champs.
Paper champ fan.
Nah.
Yeah, shout out to Keegan for choosing the Saints. I'm not mad at you for choosing the Saints. I'm cool with the Saints.
I like the
Saints are cool. I like New Orleans. I've never been there, but I want to go there. But I'm good with you choosing the Saints. Just know when the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, I told you so. Anyways, Cutty Corner Shoutouts. Cutty Corner Shoutouts is our segment where we get the floor to ourselves to be able to gripe, complain, and just share our displeasure with something that in the world is pissing us off. So we're going to get to that. Cutty Corner Shoutout is derived from a strain of weed that we got from a strain of dealer in New York. Let's just say the strain of dealer is not a high-end strain of dealer, and let's say the strain of weed they have is even less high-end. And so we derived our Cutty Corner Shoutouts based upon the weed we got from a strain of dealer named Cutty. Cutty Corner Shoutouts.
It's time.
We're burning now. God, if you let it in, hell. So cold and bleeding now. I'm in for this, man. Gonna let you down. He had sex with my mama. We're broken people now. Like I said, I need a
Cutty Corner Shoutouts.
My Cutty Corner shoutout is not Jared this time. Normally, that would be that, especially with that one. If it wasn't for this one thing that's been on my mind all week, it would have been Jared. My Cutty Corner shoutout goes out to a sport that's being played all over the world that's known as the most famous sport in the world, even though it doesn't make as much money as other sports, but for some reason it's known as the most famous sport.
Quidditch?
No, not Quidditch. Football or soccer in some places. My shout out go out to this because as I was watching several games, I noticed that a lot of these jerseys have buttons and collars on them. Who plays sports in a polo, right? Who plays sports in a polo? Soccer does. Even if you look at some of the international teams, this year Brazil's jersey has 2 buttons and a collar. There are several teams that are wearing Bayern Munich, a collar. France, the French, you just won the World Cup. Why does your jersey have buttons and a collar? I don't know. Italy's 2015-16, collar. USA, men's 2014 jersey, collar. Why do these teams have a collar? 2018, best team in Juventus, alternate jersey. Tight, form-fitting, dry-fit shirt with a collar and button. You are a jersey soccer. Those are jerseys. They are not, I don't care if you call it a top or whatever you call it in the English language or English vernacular out in the United Kingdom. It is still a jersey. You are not at a frat event, formal event, after a college football game, eating brie cheese and waiting for the bratwurst to finish as you're tapping the keg, waiting for the old alumni who still hasn't got a life and selling hacky sacks in the stadium to come by. I went this weekend to a sports shop looking to get a nice dry fit college soccer jersey. It said everything in the store 50% off. I was super juiced. It's a soccer store. I'm like, juice, I'm going to get me one of these jerseys, dry fit. The weather's warm now. I could wear it and I don't have to worry about sweating at work. No, because it all has collars. I'm not going to put a tie on with the jersey. I am not going to a formal event. I'm not wearing khakis with them. I don't want to look like I'm playing soccer while also shooting a Gap commercial from 1994. This is not the United Colors of Bennington. So that's my shout out to soccer, to Umbro, Nike, Adidas, all these companies, Diadora, all these companies that make soccer jerseys. Get rid of the goddamn collar.
My Cutty Corner shout out goes out to, and it usually will go to fantasy football or fantasy sports in general, but this time I'm going to do a little bit different. Today's Cutty Corner shout out, I'm going to give it to myself, just for thinking that fantasy sports is going to be different this year. It is not. Let me tell you why it is not going to be different this year. Just because I have this crazy ass league, and I thought the crazy ass league was going to be different. It is not different. I stayed up until 5 o'clock this morning, watching the waiver wire and watching my team to make sure that all my players are going to play and that they're going to play properly. I watched the videos. I followed the stats. I followed, what is that dude name from ESPN?
Matthew Berry. I
watched all his videos. He does videos on my players. So I was like, cool, I got it. I made my decision. I got it. Turns out this motherfucker Damian Williams didn't even play. My point is that I thought it was going to be different. I expected this league to be different, and that is my fault. I apologize to myself for being stupid and giving myself the Cutty Corner shout out, thinking that this league is going to make any sense when it never does.
My Cutty Corner shout out goes out to all these new healthy snacks and foods and, organic foods, snack foods in particular. Y'all package them with some of the most dense plastic metal materials that I've seen in my life. This is some kind of shit that NASA used to wrap food in for astronauts when they would go to space. You are using all these dense ass aluminum lined plastics that are not good for the environment. So we are having all this super dense and super tight packaging that's going to keep these things that are going to go bad otherwise fresh for longer than they should be. Yet after we eat our nutritious snack, we are paying it forward by dumping more garbage and plastics that will take longer to biodegrade into our Mother Earth, thus killing her nutrition value, all for the sake of our own selves. So, my Cutty Corner shout out goes to all these little new snacks. Reevaluate your packaging, please, because some of that shit is, number one, hard to open, and motherfuckers be getting cramps in their hands trying to tear the packaging and pull that shit apart. Number two, that shit is some space age type material, and that shit ain't gonna die forever. I'm thinking about actually making one of them like thin blankets out of some of the seaweed packaging I be getting. I was like, man, I'll make a little thermal blanket out of this shit, because you know what? Might as well. It went to the moon. It can do me good down here. Zero gravity to real gravity. My second Cutty Corner shout out goes out to Derek Carr. And I hope I'm not cursed. And I hope we don't lose his audio. Maybe Derek Carr is a curse. Every time you talk about Derek Carr, we lose the audio. Shout out. My Cutty Corner shout out goes out to Derek Carr. Before AB AB'd himself, I was looking forward to seeing a fireworks-filled season with the Raiders, of AB discovering that you are not a good enough quarterback to get him the ball.
That's your
that he's going from a Hall of Fame quarterback to a Hall of Lame quarterback in you, and that he was not going to have it, and he was going to AB himself going after you. But instead, he met you, ran some routes with you, played with you for a couple weeks, and had the kids playing together, and he realized this motherfucker ain't got it. And because of that, he then went into full AB mode and sabotaged his time at the Raiders. Because he did that, he went to the Patriots. And then I was like, well, at least AB's going to be on the team. I can hate the Patriots more. But guess what? You sent AB in such a spiral that he AB'd himself even more and got himself kicked off the Patriots. And because he saw you were starting in today's game, he AB'd himself even more and started going off on Twitter this morning because he's like, that weak motherfucker still in the league who can't throw the ball around is over here still playing in the league and everyone thinks he's great, and I'm over here. I got fools getting hand jobs and sexual assault allegations, and they over here still got jobs, and Derek Carr still got a job, and I don't. So you have sent AB in a self-destructive spiral, and it's all your fault. And I was gonna hope to see AB destruct you while self-destructing on the Raiders this season, so I could put it in our friend Tim, shout out to Tim Sponsorship's face, and every other Raider fan who's an apologist or believes that Derek Carr is somebody. Because I'm gonna tell you this, Derek Carr, you are a nobody. So Derek Carr, my Cutty Corner shout out goes out to you for being thoroughly mediocre at best and being a quarterback that I would rather have Alex Smith over than you. So Derek Carr, get your shit together. He might not be worth the blame at a certain point. If they move on from him soon enough, I'll be like, you know what, I told y'all. But if they keep trying to trot that weak motherfucker out there, then I'm going to be like, this is why y'all ain't going to do nothing in Vegas. You going to take a man of the Lord out to the city of sin and expect him to focus? He can't even focus on keeping AB from self-destructing. He going to have all this self-destructing behaviors around him. He going to sit there and crumble. Not to mention, he's probably going to start trying to fight MMA against a journalist who critique him and say he ain't good enough. Because they got the UFC center there. He gonna be out there trying to train.
That sounds like he about to fight you in that octagon.
Man, hey, Derek Carr, call me into that octagon, see what happened. You know what I'll do? I won't even throw a punch at you. I'll just talk about how weak you are, and you'll probably start crying in the corner. Take your ass home and keep your ball too. That is our show, friends. Do we have any? Kiegan, thank you for joining us today, man. Do you have any final messages you would like to send out to our fans?
I'm glad we back on the iTunes store.
Shout out to iTunes sponsorship.
No, I'm good.
Aaron, you got any final notes?
Yeah, I have not listened to 1 second of audio from this game. Next week, Cowboy game in silence, whole day.
Oh, we're muting the Cowboys game. Mute.
Whole game.
They're playing on Sunday?
I'm down.
They play Sunday night. It's the only way I'm going to be happy because I have not heard the Ram game.
Don't worry, I'll be able to scream, run, nigga, and hit that motherfucker, and it'll be enough. Well, thank you for listening to our show. We hope you guys are enjoyed it, and we hope that you guys continue to follow us on the Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. Check us out at Highscore 510, and be sure to check us out on Stitcher, Podbean, and our newest platform of all. Please check us out on iTunes and give us a follow, subscribe, rate our program, and any feedback or any engagements we accept and we are willing to take in there. So send us some mail, and we will gladly answer your questions here on the Highscore 510 podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll leave you with this.
Everybody knows you never go full retard. What do you mean? Check it out. Dustin Hoffman, Rain Man, look retarded, act retarded, not retarded. Count two picks, cheated cards. Autistic, sure, not retarded. Then Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump. Slow, yes, retarded maybe, braces on his leg, but he charmed the pants off next to him to win a ping pong competition. That ain't retarded. He's a goddamn war hero. You know any retarded war heroes?
I'm thinking like he could go somewhere like in a very autonomous place in Europe.
No, he can't go downtown. He has to go straight. Look how he looks, man. Europe. I don't know, Jerry. I don't know if you've been to Europe lately. They don't look like that.
He got to go to Eastern Europe, Czechoslovakia or something.
He need to move to Ripley's in Vegas and just be his own wax statue. So niggas don't
for real.
But maybe people might fucking shit up. Never mind.
He might have to work some mine in what's that place? That,
West Virginia.
No, I'm talking about worse than that. I'm talking about
Congo. He gonna inspire
Narnia,
real quick.
Maybe Narnia, or the outer realm of Lord of the Rings.
This nigga need to go study at Hogwarts.
He gonna have to be with Sauron.
He could lead a class of snitching. I'll tell y'all.
It's like just Quidditch class, not a snitching class. Close to it. Check your schedule if you here.
This ain't Quidditch, motherfucker. This is Snitch.
Snitch. This one, I got this special snitch hat. You know they got the one to tell you what school you belong to. I got one you put on, and it just starts snitching everything you know.
I got a better idea. They gonna put this nigga on a little hoverboard. They gonna have him flying around the Quidditch games as a snitch. They gotta catch his ass. It's like, catch this nigga. Oh my God!
Yeah, start the damn show, man. Did we start the show already?
We kind of did.
He said, dude.
Did we start the show?
I'm the dude disguised as a dude playing another dude.
I'm dude disguised as a dude looking like some vomit.
It's just like, man, you gonna catch him working in one of the booths at Circus. Like, fit it kind of well.
Working a booth. He gonna be